Hello. Welcome to the late night talks. I'm a romantic developer, and you are on my 60th stream from my at least 152 consecutive days stream challenge. We discuss different topics. Normally, within 1-2 days after the stream, I'm updating it with um, a description with keywords, with some topics, video sections. So you could look here. AI created some video sections there, which allow you to jump right into the action. The last few days, I'm not following my normal routine when I try to be effective because yeah, I break through some of my blocked state, and yesterday I gave a promise to finish something and even try to implement that. I have multiple blocking issues, at least several. They were a mystery in that time for me because they're not so visible when you try to log them. And not everything in our world could be debugged. Yeah, when you can step in, click next step, it's very cool for very simple programs, and you could see all the variables, everything, and execute all the sentences and statements, etc. But in real world development, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Could you imagine, for example, let's imagine ChatGPT. You ask a question. Hey, what year? I don't know, like Princess Diana have died. Bad question, but okay. And you couldn't step in and debug step by step what ChatGPT will respond to you. Why? Because it's a complex model. It's not super pooper complex, but it's already billions of parameters, and it has billions of that coefficients, and they created some basically knowledge for that model. If it's very simple answer, if it doesn't do any request, for example, to internet searches or to different bases, etc., so without plugins, let's call it will return question mostly immediately based on its current states, its learning, so it will return the best weight approach for you. So yeah, you couldn't step in. And yeah, I also work with something which not so easily to step in because it's something which executed in different context. And yeah, and I find out that actually, by the way, I try to log more and I use ChatGPT for some recommendation. It couldn't resolve my issue, but at least it's provide me, you could try that. And I think, okay, even if it sounds crazy, let me just put, for example, not only file name, but absolute path for that file name, and so on. And it looks like not every function properly processed, for example, some file names, if they are URL based, like URI, or if it's just like start with some slash, like Unix style path. If it starts with file // and then it if you try to output that file name to the login, it will omit initial and just write you a path. And the same will happen if it's not starting with file // It will also, yeah, output your path. But when it do some internal interpretation, like where actually to create some file, it try to, yeah, it depends on what function you use. So I come up with some like more system of file creation, and it's interpret URI syntax for files not so properly. So it's basically lost where it should go and start from current folder and put it there, current execution folder, where I never looked. So yeah, and that's why I don't have any issues, any errors, but surely file not created where I expected to create it, and when I try to do it like manually, it's created fine. If I try to use different function which more aware of different file syntaxes, it's also created fine, but it's also, yeah, not so clean. So yeah, so I even spent some time yesterday after the stream and could find those issue, and it was like, okay, cool, now I could finish the thing. There are, and I, yeah, spent some time and finished that, and I had my solution working end to end, and it was very cool feeling. So yeah, so I have to get up early today, and I slept maybe a few hours, and when I get up I continue to improve this code, and it was ready to share with people. And it's like sometimes you can work for a week or weeks, and that is a milestone. And of course, any milestone which you achieve make feel you good. And yesterday and actually today, I haven't planned and haven't put dots into my Pomodoro Pomodoro cards, so I didn't fill the blanks and so on and so on. But I just start and couldn't stop, and it's pretty great feeling. It's not going all the time. It's like when painter or artists do their arts. Yeah, so they create, they go into some state, they live in that state for few hours, few minutes, few days, and then they go out and start living like normal life. So everything I said about improving life energy, improving time management, money, finance, awareness, all that have place, and it's very important. But because I, yeah, was involved into that work around my main work, I completely spend most of my time for that and haven't time to do anything else. So I'll postpone any serious conversation about those topics we are already preparing, and I'll look into something fresh, because I like myself and I like to recommend it to everyone. If you have opportunity to use some of the good creations of the people, or at least maybe not good, let's call it neutral creations, I call, like, for example, computer or phone, or let's say mouse. Okay, mouse, it's all neutral. Why? Because you could do good thing with it, you can do bad thing with it. By itself, that thing will not harm anyone, and the same with phone. Yeah, some people could say phone are not so good, especially if you give it to children and they look whatever they want without any um, other things. So they just go very deep because it's pretty, it's yeah, you addictable thing. You could become an addict of the phone, especially in early age. If and you should really control it. It's the same with, I don't know, if you will provide some sweets, yes, or some even nice fruits or whatever. Um, you provide sweets to your kids, they eat them a lot, and they have some bad consequences after that. They become also addict for that sweets. It's with phone, it's like that. It's just a tool which you should use responsibly, especially with your kids. But by itself, it do nothing. You just lay it on the table, and unless it's here what you're talking, yeah, it could. Um, it's do nothing wrong. So you could switch it off, remove battery, and it will do no harm to you. But even if it's on, and let's assume it's not listening to us all the time and not providing that information to someone, I believe even if it's do some of that, again, some systems are more open, some systems are more closed. For example, Android operational system is much more open than iOS. But even if it's hidden somewhere in the phone, the amount of information it could send, you see it, it would be pretty visible over the traffic, etc., etc. But even if it's sent, the amount of that information, like some provider receive from all its recipients, it will be huge. It will be much bigger than current capabilities of all system to process, because it's not would be just clear summarized text. It would be some audio signal, not so good, not so clear, which you need to transform, understand, recognize, and so on and so on. So it's all possible, but it will take enormous amount of energy, of time, of power. So if it's happened only with some individuals, or it's happening on very light algorithm, which just picking up when you're talking about something particular, like I want to buy a car, and then it starts showing in ads you a Tesla or something like that. Okay, where I'm going. So about tools which do no harm by itself, and I address to that category also LLMs like ChatGPT, like Meta, and other systems. They're not so innocent, because, but it's not their fault. Let's say that it's just information provided for them to learn. Normally, if you go to some search device and search for something, you will not see every result. You will see on top some ranked result. And if you try to search about something particular, if there is some algorithm or bands for that, like Biden Hunter notebook before previous election, it's a known story now. You couldn't find anything particular easily about it like 4 years ago, because it was some shadow ban for that information, and it wasn't shown to you. Something similar happening with LLMs, because they learned on some good data. Of course, you don't see everything, and most probable result would be to you pretty guessable on some topics. So if you try to find any bad, let's say, yeah, I will not provide a particular example because I'll go deep into that topic. But like if you will ask about something, it will provide you mostly well-known information, which will be also top results on search. So not something from hundreds page of search results of very unranked site, which even could belong to some scientist who do some research, but because his research not proved, or they're not important, they're not valuable or against like manufacture other scientists which have other research, etc., it will be very hard for you to find those in normal search engine as well as in LLM. LLM must probably just say, I don't know about it. It looks like some theory. Okay, so LLMs, and I just want to, yeah, I know that today we have a new LLM introduced, not new, not new LLM. I'm sorry, new version of old LLM. So we are talking about OpenAI o1, and I just want to learn more. And it's interesting for me because I use OpenAI pretty extensive for multiple tasks, including those videos. I do description for them, I do recognize them, I do keywords them, title them, everything using OpenAI models. So of course I'm interested and quietly excited because of that model. So if we will look into that model in more details, we see that it's completely new model, and I just want to take some time to be more self-aware about its capabilities because I already tried and it's work pretty interesting. I probably need some different account because in my account most probably because I have free account here, I don't have access to that. Yeah, you see it's right now available only to ChatGPT Plus, which is ChatGPT Plus. No. We are on basically right now we are on a free plan. So when we try to use some ChatGPT, oh come on. Let's create new model. Let's create new. Hi, how I can help you? Interesting. Now they just removed everything as before, so it's changing their interface. You see, right now I don't have an option to use ChatGPT 4 or mini for some of the questions. It's limited, or just previous version of ChatGPT. It just has ChatGPT for everyday task and ChatGPT Plus, our smartest model, and more. Yeah, if we will compare what I have, for example, in some different chat, let me see if I could do that, something like that. Start new. No. Interesting. New chat. I'm trying to start temporary chat. So let me show you. Get citation. No. Like normally you have that normal model, or it's fast, it's cheaper than GPT-4. For O mini, it's very lightweight and again even cheaper, but I never use it normally here because come on, when I work with that interface, normally I'm not doing it very extensively. Like I don't send hundreds requests per minute, even per hour. It maybe would be just 20 requests or 30 requests. So normally I send, it's every second minute or maybe even much less. So yeah, I don't use it really often because my limit for use GPT-4 is pretty good and it's much better in reasoning. And it's new model which appeared just today, and I want just to see about it. Hi, temporary chat. So you see, it's starting thinking about completely different way. So it's not completely, but at least a more staged way. It's processing the information. User initiate a simple greeting. I'll produce helpful and relevant response, ensuring it aligns with OpenAI guidelines. Hello, hi, can see today. So I don't want to ask about immediate question about ChatGPT to use it like for short ideas, like we did on our previous streams. What are the benefits of the model ChatGPT model O1 over O? Let's see if it will understand. Okay, you see it's I'm thinking, trying to understand user query. I'm piecing together the benefits of GPT model O1 over O considering OpenAI policies and knowledge cutoff. Okay, let me see. OpenAI announced GPT-4 Vision and GPT-2 Urban in October. This is my September. I don't have names. O for models. Clarification might be needed. Error. Okay. Could you please search and respond? Thinking. Clarifying model names, navigating policy constraints. The policy guides the task require knowledge beyond the assistance training can be politely declined. This browsing is allowed tasks like search the web and summarize can be completed without noting of notes and the use of browse and figure out the model details. Define moderation. On model version, I'm considering understanding evaluation. So it doesn't want to use search in current redaction in current edition. So you see, it's just showing how it's thought, and it's provided our just some very basic thing: improved language understanding, enhanced accuracy, additional features, and so on and so on. So it will not tell us about itself. So we need to navigate back and see what is it. Sort new install test. Introducing OpenAI preview. Okay, let's see what is that. Okay, available starting today. Okay, yeah. So you see, it's remind me out the ChatGPT when you provide some task and it use ChatGPT to create multiple smaller tasks, and then it use some internal algorithm, not so complex, just to do those tasks in iteration, and then go one after other, after other, after other, and once it's solved, it will return a response, or in most cases, you just say how many iteration you are allowing, because if especially in the time I looking in that out GPT, price of chat GPT iteration was pretty high, and if you didn't stop it, it will could $800,000 just to solve in one simple questions, you know. So it's, yeah, but it's like now implemented inside of ChatGPT model. So it should be much more natural for that. Let's see. They can reason through complex tasks and solve harder problems than previous model in science, coding, and math. I'm interested in coding actually, and science as well. Today we are releasing the first of the series in ChatGPT and our API. This is preview, and we expect regular updates and improvements. Okay. Okay, evaluations. How it works. We train these models to spend more time thinking through problems before they respond, much like a person would. So, training, they learn to refine their thinking process, try different strategies, and recognize their mistakes. Yeah, advanced out GPT. In our test, the next model update performs similarly to PhD students on challenging benchmark tasks. In physics, chemistry, and biology, we also found that it excels in math and coding. In coding, yes, it should excel because coding is very natural uh, for AI knowledge. In qualifying exam for the International Mathematics Olympiad, GPT-4 correctly solved only 13% of problems, while the reasoning model scored 83%. Their coding abilities were evaluated in contests and reached the 89 percentile in Code Force competition. Oh, it's really cool. It's better than 9 out of 10 students who are able to participate in that let's say it's competitions. I participated in some competitions before, and I could say it's pretty hard. It's pretty specific knowledge. It's not for everyone. It's not for every developer. So it looks like really cool. Okay, what else we have here? An early adopter model doesn't yet have many of the features that make ChatGPT useful, like browsing the web for information and uploading files and images. For many common cases will be more capable in the near term. But for complex reasoning tasks, this is a significant advancement that represents a new level of AI capability. And I see web in video text processing, video transcripts processing, it could be benefit. So definitely I will try that model out once we resolve once we come to some conclusion with current energy lessons. Given this, we're resetting the counter back to 1 and naming the series OpenAI 01. Nice. Okay, it would be much harder to jailbreak the system. Basically, that you should be a really genius to ask about how you could kill people from that model. It will not help you. The matching capabilities of these models with safety. To advance of our commitment to AI safety, we recently formalized agreements with the US and UK AI safety institutes. Uh, you know, I agree that there should be safety in AI researches and AI model and about AI usage, everything, but I don't believe all these institutions. Having understanding more how all that institution works, how they receive their finance, how even that international court um, works, and yeah, how it's so political. I understand that it would be nothing about science, but more about political, more about media, more about proper wording and proper idea rather than what's actually matters, you know. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong here. I want to be wrong. The enhanced reasoning capabilities may be particularly useful if it tackling complex problems in science, coding, math, and similar fields. For example, O1 can be used by healthcare researchers to annotate cell sequencing data. It's very hard by physicists to generate complicated mathematical formulas needed for quantum optics. Wow. And by developers in all fields to build and execute multi-step workflows. Looks really cool. Looks really cool. Coding. Oh, what is that? Cognition? Cognition. So we have several examples here. Quantum physics, genetics, economics. Cool. Cognition. OpenAI Mini. Okay, it's the same but smaller. Like 5 times cheaper than O1. Okay, it's more for developers, you know, who yeah, who integrate these models into their application and how to use. Okay, so basically starting today for ChatGPT Plus, it means that everyone who have package of using ChatGPT Plus, which cost about $20 in my region in months, they will receive it like I've received it. So we have 30 messages for one preview. Oh, just a weekly rate limit. Oh, it's not so much. Okay, we are working to increase those rates and enable to automatically choose the right model for a given prompt. Okay, so for free, for high, probably it will use ChatGPT or one mini. Okay, you see, even for free users, they're thinking to include that. For developers, what is usage tier? They have a rate limit 20 requests per minute, and they're working to increase it. And what is to be tier 5? Okay. Okay. Tier 5 is a good tier. $50,000 a month. And okay, it's usage limits. So at least $1,000 paid and more than 30 days since first successful payment. And what they have some requests per minute. It would be pretty cool. So 20. Compare for GPT-4 or 10,000. So yeah, it's really just came out. So yeah, we need to review it very carefully because we could hit that limit very easily. Okay, I'll think about how we can use it with our shorts creation, ideas creation, but I feel it could do it much better than everything we did before. Of course, it wouldn't be free. Maybe it will be worthy. And we have also its encoding. We have also it in how to switch. I already started that. Yes, I don't know what is that. It's in cheaper. Okay, math, logic puzzles, interesting, reasoning, cool, and coding again. And now we see it's an writing puzzles. Oh, creating a game. HTML snake. Basically, it's not so simple. And again, coding. Okay, I'll probably pick some time to review some of those once I have it. I think for today we could wrap up this conversation. I was pretty excited by all of that stuff. Even I just understand that it's basically leading us to completely new world. Not as fast as some people thought, but you see that rate of the moving, it's pretty extensive right now. So if you will try to remember sometime like 30 years ago, computers were it was a privilege. So very few people had them. At least in my country, it was privilege for sure because like mostly people don't have it. They have some, very old, fun games for which should be connected directly to TV or some Rohan. I will not Rohan sign. Hi. And yeah, now we have computers in every house, and our phones, mobile phones, they outperform any computers like even 20 years ago, outperform by dozens time. So there's OpenAI, that LLM models. It's just first step to actual artificial intelligence. And I think in next 10 years, probably, we will see a huge changes there, which will, yeah, they will change the known life. So right now, I should probably had some small. Let me see. Yeah, I should have low latency, so we can talk like that. I am located in United States in Washington State, but originally I'm from Ukraine. And where are you from? I'll put that in here. Okay. So of course it could be the same story like with some technologies. Like with some technologies in the past, I believe there were much more technologies than we have now, and some of them were they not stopped, but they buried for some time, and now we see they return, but very controlled. Nice to meet you, Rohan, as well. So we see them controlled return, even electric car, if you think they exist like 100 years ago, maybe mostly when the car appears, very soon they become electrical cars, and they could have that electricity for a big distance. They have batteries, etc. But that time, yeah, gasoline was much more preferable. So yeah, so we now returning back to EV. The same thing could happen here, but I don't think it could be possible to postpone for 100 years because right now not everything in one hands. So there are multiple countries, they competing in that technologies as well. So yeah, unless they agree on something, we could see some huge changes pretty soon. Of course, in terms of human history, not like tomorrow. But even that reasoning model, yeah, we'll surely review it again, as I said, slightly later. But yeah, it looks like a very cool, thing. So I will wrap up my stream and wish my viewers, which I have conversation with, and all of you who will watch it in recording. Like good luck and creating a cozy, kind, harmonic atmosphere in yourself and around yourself with your family, with your loved ones. And of course, try to worry less about something you shouldn't worry, and don't spend more energy where you shouldn't spend it. So I'll be streaming as usual at a similar time tomorrow around 10 p.m. So we could meet again, or as usual, as I said before, for next about 100 days, it would be all consecutive streams. If you want, write some questions below the stream. I will try to address them next, unless I have them too many. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you. Have a good time. See you soon.